Peace and blessings, family. It's me, Coach 67 Sports TV. Shout out to the awesome and amazing LDBC, Lions and Boxing community. Shout out to Louisiana All-American Sports Network. Last but definitely not least, shout out to the greatest university in the world, the Southern University, home of the mighty Jaguars. This is my post-fight reaction to Tim Tszyu's embarrassing loss to Bakhram Murtazaliev. And I'm not gonna lie, this fight wasn't even on my radar because while this fight was going on, I was on the yard, on the bluff, Southern University's campus, watching my Jags beat up on the Alcorn State Braves. And on my way home, I saw 7-8 Sports TV, shout out to my brother 7-8. I saw his post-fight reaction to the fight. So I'm not gonna lie, I went, searched out the fight, I found it. And, we talked about this on the Southern Baller Show on my brother Jared 11 Green's channel. Go check out my brother Jared 11 Green on his channel. I went check out the fight. And I'm not even lie, like Tim Tszyu, he fought a horrible fight in terms of, from a strategic standpoint. The strategy was not what was up. His strategy was trash in terms of this particular fight. And, we talked about this on my brother Jared 11 Green channel, Southern Baller Show. Basically, we don't know if it's a situation of which his loss to Sebastian Fundora, the Towering Inferno, if it took more out of him than we really think. For one, did he underestimate Bakhram? Did he have just a bad strategy for the fight? I think he definitely underestimated him from what I saw. And also, his strategy was terrible, And even once he got hurt, instead of him trying to just tie him up and recover, him just try to stay away from him until he recover. Either way, I think he should have tried to implement one of those strategies because I think, if I'm not mistaken, he got knocked down like 3 times in the second round. And I'm like, dude, you can't use these type of strategies when you're fighting against a bigger fighter, somebody could crack. And, I feel like he was just outgunned in that fight. So, again, I'm not going to say he was a hype job, but I think the fact that he's Kostya Tszyu's son, I think he got pushed harder and further and faster than he really should have been pushed. And because, at one point, certain individuals basically saying, whoever wins undisputed between Spence and Crawford, Tim Tszyu is going to easily beat them. And we could see that clearly wasn't the case. I think he showed signs of this in, the fight against the Towering Inferno, Sebastian Fundora. I think in terms of his, his decision-making, and, don't get me wrong, in the past, I've seen him fight other fighters, and he's shown, high ring IQ, good boxing ability. So I don't understand why, in this particular scenario, he didn't fight that type of fight. So at the end of the day, it was a terrible loss. It was an embarrassing TKO loss. He really got beat down. He took a behind whooping in this fight. So, he clearly going to have to, start from ground zero. I don't know, how they're going to build him back up. But like I say, maybe he's just trying to live up to his, being Kostya Tszyu's son. Maybe that's part of it. Because I'm not going to lie, it's a junior welterweight back in the day. Kostya Tszyu was a dog, I got to give him his props, proud of him. Proud of him losing his undisputed title back in the day. I'm not going to lie, Kostya Tszyu was a dog. So maybe Tim Tszyu is trying to be what his father was. Maybe that's the case. Who knows? But at the end of the day, his strategy just was terrible, You're fighting against a bigger fighter. And like I said, in the past, he's shown that he can box. And he's shown that he has a high ring IQ at times. But in this particular fight, like, all of that really went out the window. I don't know. It was because he was hurt and, you know, his ego and his pride just said, hey, he hurt me. I just want to try to get back at him immediately. Or it was a situation where, you know, he wasn't thinking clearly. Maybe he just kind of underestimated his opposition. But either way, you know, this is a bad loss. And like we were saying on the Southern Baller Show, I think part of it is the fact that if, you know, you look at the loss to Sebastian Fundora, like, did that play a part in it in terms of taking a little bit out of him? I don't think that's really the case, you know, because my brother Jared Loving Green, he really is under this belief that, you know, had he not been cut in a fight against Sebastian Fundora, he feel like Tim Tszyu stops Sebastian Fundora, and I think that's, you know, being overly presumptive. I really don't think Tim Tszyu was going to stop Sebastian Fundora at any point. That's just my personal opinion. But, I mean, either way, this is a bad loss. Honestly, I don't think at any point he would have beat the winner of Crawford versus Spence. I don't think he would have beaten Keith Thurman. And honestly, I think Tim Tszyu, you know, he showed a lot of potential to being a good fighter. I'm not going to say he was a hype job, but I'm going to say he was a little bit overrated. And, you know, I'm sticking with that. I think at this point he needs to kind of go back to the drawing board, rebuild himself up. But at the end of the day, in the junior middleweight division, I mean, he has taken several steps back. And Bakhram, you know, it kind of depends on what happens with Bud Crawford, you know, whether he fights Sebastian Fundora or Sebastian Fundora fights Spence. Me personally, I think Spence, instead of him going straight into a fight with the Tower Inferno Sebastian Fundora, me personally, I think he should take a light touch and get his feet back under him. You know, he's moving up in weight. He's fighting a champion in that division. I don't think that's a smart move if, you know, that's legitimate. So, you know, if I'm Spence, I take a light touch. You know, I'll let Fundora go fight Crawford. And I think if I'm Crawford, if you can't fight Fundora, you know, I think fighting Bakhram Murtazaliev, I think is a good fight. And honestly, I think Bud would do much better than Tim Tszyu did, you know, against Bakhram. I mean, at the end of the day, I think at some point, Bud Crawford is going to become the undisputed junior middleweight champion in the world, because, you know, really and truly, I think unless Spence gets back to what he was, I don't think there's no real threat to Bud in the super welterweight division. You know, that's just my take on it. To me, I think it was a bad loss for Tim Tszyu, and he needs to go back to the drawing board. And I think at some point, I think Bud is going to become the undisputed junior middleweight champion of the world. If you find any value in this video, please like the video, share the video, comment in the comment section, subscribe to the channel. Also, click the notification bell so you can be alerted anytime I'm posting any new videos. Go check out my brother Jared Loving Green on his channel, The Southern Baller Show. We had another episode of Southern Baller Show this past weekend. So go check out my brother Jared Loving Green on his channel. Also, go check out my brother Brent Fox on his channel. With his show, it's just me starring Brent Fox. Also, for my LDBC family members, he does a 20x20 boxing series. So go check him out. Go check out my brother Supreme Beast Boxing Talk Cadillac Red. He has two channels. His primary channel, Supreme Beast Boxing Talk, and Cadillac's Red backup channel, Supreme Beast After Hours, where he, the other usual suspect, our brother 503 Lion, and I, we have this show called The Coach's Playbook, where we talk about, you know, coaching, sports, and football from a coach's perspective, from a parent's perspective. So check it out. And lastly, go check out, last but definitely not least, go check out our brother, the General, 78 Sports TV on his two channels. His primary channel, 78 Sports TV, his backup channel, LDBC General. I'll catch y'all on the rebound. Y'all have a blessed and phenomenal day. Peace and blessings.